You know you're an impressive human being when you stun Patrick Bet-David and Cathie Wood. Elon's on a road to becoming a trillionaire. Check this out.
Cathie Wood says Elon Musk's $1 trillion payday will pass decisively, despite opposition from proxy firms. So Cathie Wood, this is her talking about why Elon's $1 trillion package will pass swiftly.
When we saw this pay package, we had a similar reaction to the very first time that Elon proposed a pay package. Our expectations were high, and everybody thought we were crazy out there when we put our expectations out there. And in the last package, he accomplished those expectations 2 years earlier than we expected him to. Just to give you a sense, if you take sort of the midpoint of the schedule for EBITDA goals, that would be a 49% compound annual rate of increase in EBITDA. I don't think there are very many companies that have accomplished that. I'll just conclude by saying this was the first voiding of Elon's pay package. This is what I put on X. I believe the Delaware court decision forcing Tesla to void the March 2018 vote on Elon's performance-based pay package is un-American, an assault on investor rights, and an insult to the board of directors of one of the most stunningly successful companies in the world. And I would add, this is a win-win for all of us if Elon succeeds this time around the way that he did the last time around. And I do hope that the appeals court does do the right thing, actually, and reward
so here's a problem.
Elon.
I have a problem with you, Elon Musk. You're like, hey, we're going to give you $1 trillion pay package. Guys, I don't have my previous 2018 one yet. So why would I get most? It's like telling somebody, by the way, if you sell this house, we're going to give you an 8% commission. But you haven't paid me on the commission on the last house I sold.
Yeah.
Where is my enthusiasm for this? But check this out, Rob. If you can pull it back up, what he had to do to get that $1 trillion package, you just had it up a minute ago. So the company needs to achieve the valuation of $8.5 trillion, which is 2.5 times higher than the biggest one today. Let's just say NVIDIA is a $4 trillion company, 2.2 times more to get to $8.5 trillion by 2035. That's 8 times the current valuation. Musk would receive new shares that could push his ownership stake significantly to 25%, and other operational milestones are obviously in there, but Tesla's estimate fair market value of the award to be around $87.75 billion today, though the full payout potentially is much higher. Adam, your thoughts?
Elon becoming a trillionaire proves that extreme wealth is just a scorecard for creating massive value. The people who build the most valuable things become the wealthiest, and that's how it should work. Patrick predicts Elon becomes a trillionaire in less than 18 months, noting he has too many things going on simultaneously. SpaceX, Starlink, Tesla, Boring Company, and he didn't even mention Neuralink or XAI.
That's an incentive package, if you ask me. I'm just simplifying this. Hey, if you want to know how people make money, you say, I don't need a salary. I don't need you to give me any sort of, bonus. Just pay me a percentage of whatever I'm able to generate.
Results and accountability.
What's the number one company with market cap today? Is it NVIDIA? Is it Microsoft?
Yeah,
what is it?
NVIDIA.
$3 trillion bucks? What is it?
4, almost 4.
Oh, it's already 4?
Yeah.
If Tesla becomes $8.5 trillion in 10 years, is that the number one company in the world?
If it gets 8, well, it depends on what everybody else is going to be then. But the reality of it is, you got 10 years to get to $8.5 trillion. We're going to give you $1 trillion.
That's insane. Where was Tesla 10 years ago?
Well, they looked at just as crazy last time in 2018 when they gave him the incentive. Then it's like, oh, that's never going to happen, but it did happen, and then they're trying to pull the money away from him now.
So, Pat,
Tesla's market cap 10 years ago was $31.5 billion. So it's 30x'd in 10 years. And they're asking him to 8x, and they're going to give him $1 trillion.
Wow.
Do you remember when I started saying Elon's going to be a trillionaire in 2 years? I said that 2 years ago. This guy's going to be a trillionaire in no time. And then there's going to be multiple of these guys out there. Ellison and others will follow suit as well.
Wealth at this scale isn't about hoarding money or exploiting people. It's a direct measurement of how much value you've created for society. Elon doesn't have $1 trillion in a bank account. His wealth represents the market valuation of the companies he's built and the problems they solve. SpaceX made space access 10 times cheaper and broke the monopoly on launches. That value flows to satellite operations, scientific missions, and eventually to making humanity multiplanetary. Starlink is bringing internet to remote areas that were previously impossible to serve. Tesla accelerated the electric vehicle transition by at least a decade. These aren't abstract benefits, they're real improvements to how the world works. The wealth follows the value creation automatically. When you build a company worth $1 trillion, you own a percentage of it, so you become incredibly wealthy. But that $1 trillion valuation exists because millions of customers and thousands of businesses find the product valuable enough to pay for them. The wealth is a proxy for the utility created. This is completely different from wealth accumulated through state control or resource extraction. Putin, for example, is probably worth hundreds of billions through controlling Russia's resources and power structures. Saudi royals are worth similar amounts through oil reserves they happen to be born above. I'd argue that's not so much value creation, that's controlling access to existing resources. The trillionaire builders create entirely new categories that didn't exist before. Elon didn't inherit a rocket company or an electric car company. He built those industries from scratch, competing against entrenched players with more resources. The wealth came from proving the market wanted what he built. Also, Patrick nailed something else. To help someone become a trillionaire, you'll become a billionaire. The people working at Tesla, SpaceX, Starlink, they're becoming extremely wealthy too because they're a part of value creation at unprecedented scale. Early Tesla employees are worth hundreds of millions of dollars now. That wealth gets distributed across thousands of people, not concentrated in one person. The handful of trillionaires emerging in the next 5 years will all be builders. Jensen Huang building AI infrastructure, Zuckerberg building the social internet, Larry Ellison building enterprise software. These are people who created massive new capabilities that billions of people use. Their wealth is the market's way of saying what you built is incredibly valuable. This is fundamentally different from redistribution or extraction. Nobody had to lose for Elon to gain. Tesla didn't take wealth away from GM, it created new wealth by building better products. SpaceX didn't steal from Boeing. It made launches cheaper, expanding the entire market. That's the key distinction critics miss. Wealth from building is positive sum. Everyone benefits when someone creates something new and valuable. And the compensation package driving Elon towards that $1 trillion milestone shows exactly how value creation works at scale. The package requires Tesla to reach $8.5 trillion in valuation by 2035, which is 8x the current value and 2.5 times bigger than Nvidia. This is why performance-based compensation at this scale makes sense. Elon isn't asking for a salary or guaranteed bonus. He's saying, pay me a percentage if I create trillions of dollars in value for shareholders. That's pure alignment of incentives. The track record matters. When the last package was announced, critics said the targets were impossible. Then Elon hit them 2 years early.
When do I think Elon becomes
Over
a
under. What's the over?
trillionaire?
Yeah.
Less than 18 months. I think less than 18 months. He's got too many. The difference between him and everybody else, all his peers, he's got way too many things that are going at the same time. SpaceX, Starlink, Tesla, boring. He's got so many different things that are moving.
Let me ask you one more question on this. You know how like Bernie Sanders railed against the millionaires and then he became a millionaire? It's like, it's the billionaire.
Yeah.
Can you imagine someone like Bernie or AOC's brain if Elon Musk or anybody else comes a trillionaire?
Yeah. There's going to be a handful of them the next 5 years. There's going to be a handful of trillionaires. By the way, as much as I'm telling you this, like if you notice certain people are in the hunt, in every league, somebody here plays, and everybody who's watching this falls in a handful of different positions.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what it is. You're either one in a position where you're the operator, go into this next 10-year era, you better be ready, or go jump on with somebody that you know is going places and bring a ton of value to them. I remember a saying was, help somebody become a billionaire, you'll become a millionaire. Now it's help somebody become a trillionaire, you'll become a billionaire. Literally, that's what the formula is.
But here's what makes this rational. Elon isn't building one business. He's building multiple trillion-dollar opportunities simultaneously. If robotaxis work, that alone could be worth trillions. If Optimus works, Elon thinks that could be bigger. Energy storage scaling at current rates will also become a massive business. Any two of those hitting probably easily creates the value needed. If Tesla hits 8.5 trillion and Elon gets paid $1 trillion, that means shareholders gain 7.5 trillion in value. That's not wealth extraction. That's wealth creation at a scale humanity has never seen. Every pension fund, retail investor, and institution holding Tesla stock becomes massively wealthier. That also goes for anyone holding the S&P 500, which of course is millions of people. The compensation reflects the value created, not some arbitrary number pulled from thin air. Ads are expensive and people don't trust them anymore, but they do trust YouTube. That's why 3 of our clients now make $100,000 a month for their business from growing a YouTube channel. If you run a business, book a call with me and I'll help you map this out.